Disagreeing with the birth plan regarding antibiotics. 32M, 29F. How to handle.
Too long did not read. Wife is 36 weeks pregnant and has tested positive for GBS. She is planning on declining the medically recommended antibiotics. Antibiotics will decrease the risk of our newborn contracting the deadly GBS bacteria during birth and becoming ill, dying. I disagree with this approach and I'm looking for relationship advice on how other people have handled this discussion. More context. She is declining it because she wants the best chance at having a vaginal birth, after the emergency C-section she had for our first baby. This is the second pregnancy.
The first pregnancy went against her original plan of having a vaginal birth due to fetal distress. Doctors recommended having a C-section instead.
She finds this change in plan very traumatic and is adamant on having a vaginal birth the second time. She believes the antibiotics will stop her from having a natural birth, even though many women have had natural births after taking the antibiotics. She still wants to decline antibiotics. I'm not sure how to handle this difference in risk appetite given it is a medical decision for our unborn child. What do you all think is the best way to handle this touchy subject?
Having antibiotics will do nothing to increase her C-section risk. Where is she getting this from? Ask the doctor about this at her next visit. My friend was GBS+, unbeknownst to her or her medical team, and she didn't get treatment.
Her baby died.
Your instincts are right.
I would approach it without delicacy if necessary. She is misinformed and putting the child's life at risk.
She needs some therapy. She should be more concerned with having a healthy baby, not a vaginal delivery. Antibiotics have nothing to do with delivery and risking your baby. Just to possibly deliver vaginally is insane. What is making her think that getting the antibiotics will stop her from having a natural birth?
Is she wanting no epidural or is she wanting a vaginal birth when she says natural birth? OB doctors typically will advise on the risks of not getting the antibiotics.
They may propose giving antibiotics after birth to the infant, not sure. My son died from group B strep because the doctors forgot to give me antibiotics during my induced labor at 36 weeks.
I don't have words to describe the suffering I had to watch my child endure and the effect that has had on me in the years since.
The CDC guidelines recommend antibiotics for a reason.
I had antibiotics with both of my other children and had absolutely no issues. Neither required a C-section. My 28F husband, 28M, keeps bringing up my physical flaws.
How do I get him to stop?
I've been debating whether or not to come to this sub for advice, but I am officially at my boiling point about this.
My husband would sometimes jokingly poke fun at parts of my body and then claim he was teasing.
He would even make me cry sometimes and then take it back and apologize with that excuse.
But lately it's gotten beyond that and he doesn't even pretend it was a joke anymore. We had a baby a year and a half ago and I still haven't lost the weight.
Only about 5 months after giving birth I weighed myself and I was at like 144 pounds.
Prior to pregnancy, I weighed about 128 pounds and I guess I thought I'd dropped back down to that, but I wasn't even close. I told him that I felt bad I was still so big and he told me to consider it a wake-up call and offered to buy me new workout clothes. I was looking more for encouragement about my body being so different post-birth, but instead he said I needed to push myself to lose the weight. Over a year later, I've only lost a few pounds, and he's still constantly bringing up my body. He always says we need to work out and we need to be fit. I joked about beating up a coworker who flirts with him and he told me, overweight people can't fight. He tells me that I'm lazy, he tells me that I let myself go, and just overall makes me feel worse about my weight. He always suggests fasting and crazy diets, knowing I've dealt with eating disorders all my life. It's not even the mean comments about my weight anymore though. He kept staring at me the other day and asked me if I would consider getting lip injections while I was in the middle of a conversation. Today we were on a video call and I turned for a moment while talking and he cut me off to tell me I had too much hair on my face, referring to the hair by my ears as sideburns, and that it was gross and made me look manly. I've always had that. Needless to say I feel like crap about myself, but anytime I tell him how much it hurts when he criticizes my physique, he tells me I'm too sensitive, that it was just a joke, or that I need to learn how to handle criticism. I was never an insecure girl. I had an eating disorder as a teen that stemmed from issues with bipolar disorder,
Never really from body image because I was always really thin before the pregnancy. But I can feel my self-esteem collapsing more and more as he points out flaws I never even knew I had before. I have no idea how to make him see the hurt he's causing because he doesn't even validate my hurt feelings.
What can I do?
I would put a picture of Henry Cavill in your house and tell him it's his wake-up call to start getting better looking. I'm sorry, he's so insensitive and ignorant.
144 is not fat. He has some unrealistic expectations that I don't think he himself could ever meet.
I think you need to take time and evaluate your relationship. It doesn't sound like he will stop or sees anything wrong with what he's doing. You've told him, and he keeps doing it. He's okay with hurting you. Is this the type of relationship you want to model for your child? Is this the type of marriage you want them to grow up and replicate? Please don't have another child with this puke and start looking for a soft place to land. Time to read. Why does he do that? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men, archive.org. He's an asshole. Oh my god, how is 144 fat?
That's healthy, borderline underweight. At a loss over separation between me M37 and my wife M38, any advice?
Me and my wife have been separated for almost a month, sharing custody of our daughter in the process. Little backstory. We've been married for 13 years, together for 15.
Things really hit a rough patch in 2018 when my wife became emotionally attached, infatuated with a personal trainer.
Long story short, she got feelings and wouldn't stop entertaining them for almost 2 years. She eventually left that gym and trainer. It was all one-sided but really caused huge issues in our relationship. Now in 2023 my wife got a new personal trainer. One she was more attracted to and subsequently had some fantasy that he was God-given and she was meant to be with. Showering him with gifts, flirting, supporting, him being her only happy place. Etc., etc. All while denying any effort I made to do those things. I called her out on all of these red flags over time and it didn't slow down. Really painting a picture she liked this guy and wanted to be with him. While all of this was going in, it led to arguing and tension and resentment from me. I asked her to stop seeing that trainer and she refused. While all of this was going on, she began to push me away, telling me I wasn't her person, that I was holding her back from some better life, that her purpose was beyond our marriage, and she wished we never got married and a lot more. While I was pushing to save our marriage and repair it so we could thrive. During all of this, I have been the primary caretaker of our home and daughter. My wife had isolated and saw any request for help or time together as control, leading to more arguing. Really hard on me mentally and emotionally. We attempted marriage counseling, a few sessions that eventually lead to my wife wanting to stop it. I have been in personal therapy for almost a year now. Well, it all boiled over about a month ago. I moved out and found a place. The hardest thing I've ever had to do. I left to stop the toxic cycle I had been in for almost a year and to find peace and heal and work through my resentments and distrust to reconcile. She keeps asking me when I'm coming home and that it doesn't feel right her being alone and how much she misses our daughter when it's not her week. I told her that before we can ever reconcile I need him and all that bullshit out of my life for good. She made the intent to remove her social medias to cut contact with her trainer, but hopped right back on a few days later. She calls me all the time crying and upset, saying she wants me home and really screwed things up. Sometimes taking accountability and recognizing the issues, then the next time she's blaming me. I really just want to go home, but I know all of our problems will still be there. I know at this moment I will just continue to resent and hurt. I want a stable family environment for our daughter. My wife thinks the longer we are separated, the less chance we'll reconcile. So she's really pushing me to come home. I don't know what to do. I don't want to keep hurting her by not being home, but I know change needs done and I need concrete evidence of change. Anyone been through anything similar? How did it play out? Update. Thanks everyone for talking some sense into me. Having a low moment today. Appreciate all of y'all's insight and truths. My most sincere advice? Cheaters never change. You forgiving her and going back only emboldens her to be more discreet in cheating next time. Mark my words and act accordingly. Ultimately, the choice is yours. I'm amazed you allowed her to have another male trainer after she cheated the first time. She will cheat again. Don't let her manipulate you into going back to her. She had her chance.
You sound like a good father. I'm sorry this happened to you and your daughter now having to deal with a broken home.
Wishing you luck, man. She had a series of emotional affairs for 6 years. She is not your person. Your person would not do this to you.
Your wife is selfish beyond measure. To treat you so poorly and then cry and beg you to come home when she's not even willing to cut off her crush on social media, much less from her life, is absurd. If you really want to make your marriage work, figure out what you need to make that happen and give her a list. Tell her if she can truly change her behavior over 6 months, you'll consider revisiting couples counseling. Don't be her provider and caretaker while she goes to the gym to fantasize about her trainer. You deserve way better than that. You don't want to keep hurting her? But it's acceptable for her to hurt you?
She not only hurt you once but twice.
It's a cycle she will continue as long as she thinks you will come right back.
She doesn't respect you or your marriage. Unfortunately, it is time to cut your losses for the sake of your mental health and for the shot at a stable home life for your child. I know it's hard after being with someone for that many years, but you have to ask yourself, do you think she will ever change? Will you ever be able to trust her again?
A marriage without trust is a ticking time bomb.
I'm sorry, bro.
But you will go back to her and she will cheat forever.
Almost everything in your post states you don't have the backbone to stay away.
You lack self-respect. It's a shame cause you seem like a nice guy, but you absolutely refuse to acknowledge the very simple reality that cages you in misery.
Your wife is a saint, she doesn't love you. And she will never stop cheating. And you're an even bigger fool if you think she isn't already fucking these men. She is a serial cheater, you need to end this. Edit to add. She appears to not be capable of loyalty. Her need for the attention of men is not normal and indicates possible mental issues. You and your daughter, if she is yours, deserve better. My 23 male girlfriend, 21 female, still has old social media posts with her kissing her ex.
Am I reasonably upset? We have been together for almost a year now. My last relationship ended on pretty bad terms, so I have cleared my social media of all posts with my ex.
She describes her breakup with her ex as messy as well.
However, she still keeps some of her posts with him in it.
I understand it's good to cherish the good memories you had with another person,
but it makes me feel like she might not be completely over him.
I've brought this up with her, but she kind of laughs it off.
The posts of them together don't necessarily bother me, but there are multiple in particular of them kissing and cuddling that just irks me the wrong way.
Maybe I'm being too jealous and overthinking this. Wait, I'm confused. Are you saying she hasn't gone back through years on her social media and deleted stuff, or that she posted a picture of her and ex recently?
Because why would you go back years on her social media then want to be upset about it?
Maybe I'm being too jealous and overthinking this. You are.
There isn't a reason to clear pics of exes from social media unless you want to. You felt the need to do that in your last relationship, other people do not. This is meaningless.
I'm angry my girlfriend existed before she met me.
You sure you're 23, and not 14?
Person doesn't get blank brand new starting each new relationship. People have past, they have memories with other people.
That's normal.
It's weird to expect to go back and erase old memories and posts. I would be surprised if my current partner wanted me to do that. My past is part of who I am now, good and bad. I'm 39. I have pictures on my social media from, when Facebook was created. I literally can't be bothered to go back and delete them. Plus, even if it was messy, mine was as well, it's still a memory.